Whew. We made it to the round of 8. My favorite round. I think this would be a great round. Way better than we've seen in the round of 12, which was not my favorite round at all. Oh, Vegas. I like this track. It started to kind of be one of my favorite, ones to bet. But anyway, we can't forget the poll today. We got a little ahead of ourselves last week, and all the excitement, and we forgot the poll. So today I have an extra special. My wife made me an espresso martini, so we are not fucking around today. So cheers, collective clink, taking a poll. All right. Well, round of 8. Man, I'm glad Larson made it through. Man, that was stressful last week. Holding all those Larson futures has not been easy. All right, let's get the rundown going here. We're going to start with the pole setter, Chris Bell. Man, this guy loves to pole it. He's an incredible qualifier. Not going to be. I don't know. What do you want me to say about Chris Bell? I don't think he has a top 5 race car. I think he probably has a top 10 car. But that first pit stall is still going to be important. He's going to lead laps. If he can get the rest of the lead away from Larson at the green drop of the green flag, that'll be good for him. I think he'll be able to lead some laps if that's the case. But I think Chris Bell will be a top 10 car. I like him more to win the race in that kind of that 14-1 price point than I do in matchups or anything else. I actually think that, what up, Kyle? I actually think that he's just kind of an average car today. I think he just kind of does Chris Bell things, and I don't know if he's going to do Chris Bell things and make a mistake. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not high on Bell, but I don't mind his win price. I think if he's just hanging around, I think he could be good. Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson wins every stage and wins the race. I just bet him to win all the stages too. That's how good I think he is. I'm not too concerned about the tire. I'm glad that he was able to. He was able to sense it and get down on pit road. There were other issues, obviously all with Chevys. I know that even William Byron had even talked about it, so we'll just go right into William Byron. He looks almost as good as Larson, probably like 2A, and then I would put the next best, I would say maybe Reddick or Chastain. When it comes to short run speed, I think William Byron's going to be really good. He's not going to. Well, Connor, that's why I took him to win stage 1 and stage 2 and then to win the race. Yeah, I think everyone has a lot on Larson today. Byron's going to be really good, and he doesn't make mistakes. I plan on him just running around the top 3 to 5 all day long and be there at the end. He's going to have a chance to win. Truex didn't have a lot of short run speed, but I thought that he managed his fall off pretty well. And Truex never practices particularly well. It's never like, oh, Truex has him covered today. I think he's going to be really solid. This is a great track for him. I anticipate Truex to be around. I have nothing on or against him at all. I was tempted to fade Denny Hamlin with him, but I'm not going to go there. I don't care how bad Denny looks. Denny's going to be around. Denny even called his shot on actions detrimental. He said, I don't qualify well there. It takes me a while to figure it out, but all of a sudden I figured it out during the race. So I anticipate that that's what Hamlin's going to do again. So I think Truex is going to be good. Really solid, probably a top 5 car all day long. Chris Buescher, surprisingly really good on the short run and then had a little bit of fall off. I think he's going to be like the solid 8th place car. And I think they'd be happy with that finish. Right now he's 3 points back. He knows that he's up against just juggernauts here. I think that he's just going to have to win, or he's going to advance through just being consistent. And so I anticipate Chris Buescher just be consistent all day long. I just don't think he has race winning speed. I don't imagine him mixing it up on restarts. I think he's just going to kind of race solidly all day long. I think he's an 8th place car, 8th to 10th. Kyle Busch was phenomenal. Great, probably the best long run speed of anyone that ran more than 15 laps. But do we trust him? I mean, he looks really good. I like Busch today. I don't have anything on him or against him. I know that there's kind of that 12-1 price, not a bad number. But I think from a matchup perspective, he's probably properly priced in a lot. I know he was minus 140 on Blaney. I don't want to lay minus 140 on Kyle Busch at anything, really. Bubba Wallace didn't practice that well. I kind of anticipated him to be a little bit better. He's good first 5 laps, made some adjustments. I think that they got the car better towards the end, but it wasn't great. I still think Bubba's going to race. He'll be fast. He was fast last year at this race. He's 1.5 are good to him. The Toyotas have speed. No pressure of the playoffs. I think Bubba's going to have a solid race. I don't think he can win. I do think that, that top 10, I think he's even money-ish top 10. That's all right. I don't hate that. Tyler Reddick looks really good. To me, he looks like the 3rd best car on short run speed. Long run, probably a little bit to be desired, but I thought that he could run some laps with the 5 and the 24 that no one else other than maybe Ross Chastain could run. So I think Reddick's going to be really good. Remember that, hey, Rory, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, let's do a mid pre-race poll with Rory. Rory, collective clink, taking a poll. Yeah, I think Reddick's going to be really good. I think it was Kyle that messaged me earlier in the week. Are you buying Tyler Reddick? I just don't like his price. His price is so short, like 8-1. I don't know. I mean, he was 30-1 when this race went off earlier in the year. I mean, I know he didn't run a lap in practice, and I understand all that. 8 is short. When you have guys like Larson, Byron, Truex all starting ahead of you that are going to be fast, I don't know. Doing a shotgun. All right, I love it. Getting after today. This kind of has one of those feels like it did last year before Homestead, when everybody made a bunch of money. All right, we're going to do the same thing again this week, and it's going to be a similar driver, I think. Joey Logano, I don't know. I can't put my finger on this guy. The Fords were bad. The Fords were bad. Even Blaney and the Penske Fords, which are typically good at this track, were, after 15 laps, terrible in the spring. I don't know that they're going to be as bad, but they just didn't show much. I think it was a good qualifying effort out of this 22 team. I have nothing on him or against him. I wouldn't be shocked if he finds himself late race restart, kind of in the top 5. That's just very Joey Logano and Paul Wolfe with that entire team. But I have nothing on him or against him. He's just a guy that I don't know how he's going to be today. I wouldn't be shocked if he finished 16th, and I wouldn't be shocked if he found himself somewhere in the mix in the late race restart. That's just what he's been doing. Ross Chastain was really good, like really, really good. Short run, did not see a lot of long run speed. Obviously, he was good here last year at this race. I mean, he almost damn near won it. Yeah, I don't hate that Chastain over Logano. Logano top 4. I think Chris Buescher is going to beat him, but I don't know. It depends on your price, Kyle. Chastain, I like his price to win. I just don't know if he can. I don't know. It's the first time we haven't seen Chastain be in the playoffs. Like, what's going to happen there? I don't know. I do have him in some matchups. Ty Gibbs, not, it was early in the season, obviously, when Ty ran here last. He's learned a lot. I just don't think that, I guess just he's been so fast on road courses. I just don't think it's going to transfer quite to ovals. Yeah, Chastain top 10. What price is it? What? Yeah, but that's probably like minus 150. I don't know what Chastain top 10 is. Someone look that up for me. Um, I don't know. I'm not buying Ty Gibbs. I don't know. I think he'll be fast, but I think you're gambling if you're betting on Ty Gibbs, unless you're getting like a massive plus payout on like a top 10 or something. I don't know. I don't quite trust him on ovals yet. Ryan Blaney went out there and ran a ton of laps, and I would imagine that he has to feel pretty good about his car. It wasn't tremendous speed, on the short run, but he did hold on for a decent amount. I thought that he had decent long run speed, and I think that this 12 team in the round of 8 is just kind of look. They're going to pick their spots. I think that their best chance to win is definitely Martinsville, and they just need to get there with maybe controlling their own destiny. And I think that if they're just going to have to run solidly these next couple of weeks. And I think he's going to have the same approach as Chris Buescher. Like, okay, we're going to, good fall off for Blaney. I don't think Blaney was terrible. I really don't. He just wasn't, it wasn't as fast as I thought he was going to be. I thought he'd have some more short run speed, but I think they're just going to kind of play it like Buescher. Like, let's just see where we're at on speed. If we can get if we get a top 5, that'd be great for him. But I think they're going to kind of ride around in this 10th place all day long. I think that's where Blaney's going to be. Eric Almirola, I don't know how he qualified that well. I don't think he's going to be good. I went back and listened to the pre-race poll from earlier this year, and I was so gung-ho on Eric Almirola. I mean, I was talking to Derek Yoder earlier. He's like, if you just want a 16th to 20th place car, just put Eric Almirola in it. And I think that's kind of where he's going to be. Bowman, I don't know. What weird practice for him. I can't put my finger on this guy. Do I think he's going to run better than 15th? Yes. Do I have an explanation other than, well, he's good here and his teammates look fast? No. Like, it's almost like this guy's just disappeared off the planet. Weird. Denny Hamlin. I mean, he looked terrible. If it wasn't Denny Hamlin and you were just looking at lap times, and let's say that this was Ross Chastain or Alex Bowman or Ryan Blaney or Tyler Reddick, if you were looking at these lap times and it was anyone other than Denny Hamlin, you would fade the shit out of this car, in my opinion. Or I would. But it's Denny Hamlin. I still think he finishes in the top 5. I don't know. But if it was anyone other than Denny, I'd be fading that car. I don't care who's driving it. Yeah, I'm sure I listened to his radio. His car, it said he was good on the bottom. You have to be good on the bottom and the top. I think if you're going to have speed here for the longevity of a run, he was good on the bottom. Then he's going to be there. Now, what I do think is his car, if he moves up kind of right away, I think he's going to have a good day. If he can pick up a few spots. But if he finds himself back in 25th, whether that's through strategy or he, a pit road penalty or something, I think he's going to really struggle. But if he kind of gets up into the top half of the field pretty quickly, he'll be around. I just don't think because of the car that he has, I don't think his car is great. I think that if he ends up back in dirty air, he's going to have his hands full, and I think it'd be really hard for him. So I guess that's the caveat is if he gets off to a good start, Denny Hamlin will be a player and finish in the top 5. If he, for whatever reason, goes to the back, I think he's going to struggle to work his way through the field. Austin Dillon looked better than Denny Hamlin. I mean, but everyone looked better than Denny. So, I like Dillon here. I hope tires are not a problem. I hope. That scares me. But Austin Dillon looked pretty good. I don't mind. I don't think he has a top 10 car, but I think he's going to run pretty good. If someone had him in a matchup, I would agree with that. I have nothing on him nor against him. Chase Briscoe ran 4 laps and then just fell off a cliff and looked terrible. Just pretty standard. Looked as slow as anybody. I mean, he only looks faster than Harrison Burton. That's worth a damn. I don't know. I think he's also pretty good at managing his stuff. If he were starting further back, I'd say fade Briscoe across the board, but who knows? I don't think he's going to be that good. Michael McDowell, kind of sneaky bad, but he's never been great here. I don't know. I think he's matched up against Austin Dillon. I think that Austin Dillon's a little bit better than Michael McDowell, but not by much. It's not worth paying the price, that minus 140. Austin Cindric, this is as bad as he's looked here. He typically fades. He just does not hang on over the long run. He's never that great at that. Justin Haley's getting pounded in a matchup. Who's that matchup against? Like Harrison Burton. He's like minus 200. Yeah, I know. Briscoe looked really bad in practice. I think he's going to race better than that. Briscoe looks like the slowest car. I mean, I don't have lap times for some of the other back markers, but of the guys I keep track of, which includes like Ty Dillon, he looked slower than Ty Dillon. So, where are we at? Austin, Justin Haley. I don't know. I don't understand this. I mean, he's a little faster than Harrison Burton, but man, minus 200 is no thank you. Keselowski. I'm fading Kez. Someone talked me off of fading him. I mean, what's the argument there? Like, he did not look that great in practice. He did not run that many laps before he pitted. I don't know. He didn't qualify well. I don't know. Someone give me a compelling argument to why I shouldn't fade Brad. I just don't think that I don't think there is. I think you just fade him. That's my guy to fade today. I don't know. I don't think strategy is going to work much. I mean, maybe 2 tires, but I think if he's thinking 2 tires, so is everyone else, you know? Okay, you're fading Kez too. Dinger. Yeah, okay. All right, so everyone's kind of on that fade Kez thing. I don't know if it's good or bad that we're all on the same page. We all think Larson's going to stomp everybody, and we all are fading Keselowski. Allmendinger. I don't know how I feel about him. I know he was good here in the Xfinity Series. I don't know. I have nothing on him or against him. Who's he matched up against? I know I talked about this for a second. Yeah, that's a good point, Kevin. Kez testing for Busch at Homestead. I would fade him too. Okay, that's a good point. I don't know how much testing you can actually do, but maybe they're going to try something. But I the tracks are very different. But I'm sure that there's something that they could learn. So that's a good point, Kevin. I would agree with that. Eric Jones. Blah. I thought he'd be better in practice. I know he's matched up against Suarez, who's going to a backup. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Jones was going to actually be better. I kind of thought this would be a place where he could actually kind of compete. He's been competitive in some races lately. Kind of expected that, but didn't get it. At least I don't see it in practice. And in Suarez to a backup car, I don't know. Suarez was good here 2 years ago or last year, early in the year. But yeah, I'm not touching that one. Yeah, Kevin, I've thought about that. I don't think it'll be as good. So he's asking about Chase Elliott's car. I'm going to get to him in a second, but I thought about here's what I like. I like his 25-1 win price more than I like his top 10 price. I think even money, you're not getting paid properly for the risk of driving through the field and having a backup car. So I think if Elliott, I like him more top 5, just because I think if he's going to be fast, it's not going to be like he's going to have a chance to get to the front eventually. So I like his top 5 price more than I like his top 10 price, and I like his win price the most. I think that has the most upside. His teammates are really fast, but does that make sense? I don't like that even money top 10. Because let's I know I'm skipping a few drivers, but who really cares about Kevin Harvick? I don't know who. By the way, let's go over Kevin Harvick quick. Does anyone think Kevin Harvick's going to be fast? He did not look good in practice, but I'm not going to fade him. Like that guy figures out. Like he'll be fast. I feel like there'll be a point where oh, and look, Kevin Harvick in the top 10. It's like I don't know. I know he's matched up against Ty Gibbs. He's like plus 180. And as soon as I said that, I remember Derek earlier was like, "Don't even say it." I kind of want to say it. I kind of like Kevin Harvick against Ty Gibbs today. There, I said it publicly on record. Hocevar, I warned Skybox Mark. I know he has this. And I like this bet. Alex Bowman over Carson Hocevar, like minus 140. That's probably a bad line, but this Hocevar, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked if he was in the top 15. I wouldn't be shocked if Carson Hocevar was in the top 15 today. I don't know. Maybe Harvick doesn't care. Yeah, Harvick's, I don't know. Ty Dillon, LaJoy, Gillen, they're all going to be trash. Stenhouse, I can never figure out Stenhouse. Like, you want to just a driver that I just never know looking at practice and qualifying? I have no idea. Ryan Preece, really slow, awful. Harrison Burton's got to be the worst. And now we can talk about Chase Elliott some more. Okay, let's go over the top. Chris Bell, we'd all agree he has a top 10 car, right? I would say you're still taking the 54 over the 4, but at what price? You don't want to lay minus 200. Okay, I think Chris Bell is a top 10 car. Can we all agree on that? Chris Bell, top 10? Okay. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr. Okay. All of those we're very safe with. Let's just say Chris Buescher's not a top 10 car. He's not. Kyle Busch is a top 10 car. Bubba? I think Bubba is a top 10 car, but just for argument's sake, let's say no. Reddick is. Reddick's top 10 car. Chastain's a top 10 car. Denny on paper does not look like a top 10 car, but you think Denny's going to finish outside the top 10? I would bet anything he finishes in the top 10. So Denny Hamlin. That leaves us 2 spots, and I just don't think if Chase is in mixing it up with those guys, those are all guys that can win the race. So let's take him to win the race or finish top 5. Yeah, I agree, Derek. I know you also have Bubba top 10, so your bias is showing. But you're probably right. I do think Bubba is probably a top 10 car. Okay, but let's say he's top 10, then the argument is for Chase. I just don't like Chase top 10. If he's mixing it up with those drivers, he's probably a top 5 driver. So play that top 5 price or play that win price. Because if he passes any one of those cars at any point in the race, that shows me he has race winning speed. To pass Kyle Busch, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to be a race. It's so hard to pass. Remember that the guys that are able to do it week in and week out, it's Larson, it's Byron, and it's Hamlin. And that's why they're the fastest. That's why they're the leaders, in the playoffs. So I think if you're passing, even if Chase Elliott passes Bubba Wallace, I mean, that's not going to be easy. That's going to be for right around 10th place. And I think that if he can go just past Bubba Wallace after starting in the rear, that's race winning speed. That all makes sense. I don't know. I just don't think you're getting paid on the even money of Elliott. I would rather have him. I'd rather have a higher payout and, maybe bet less for a little bit more of a return. That's all I'm saying. Denny is absolutely a no play. Yeah, I'm not betting Denny. I think Denny will be good, but I think you're going to be able to get a better price on him live. I he I don't know. He looks so bad, but that doesn't matter. He is the one guy that I don't care how he practices. Even if it was Byron looked that slow, even if Byron looked like Denny's lap times, I would fade the hell out of Byron, but not Hamlin. No, 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 no. I am not doing that. Any other questions about anything? I think we're going to have a big day today. Everyone's on Larson. Everyone's fading Brad K. Let's get Brad K with engine issues early. We don't need Busch winning the championship anyway. Connor, I bet a ridiculously low price. I think I played him at Caesars at like plus 275. And the reason I did that is because my wife even calls him the bed shitter. So I think anything over plus 250 on Larson, he just has to clear Bell. I mean, if Byron somehow gets ahead of Larson, I don't know if Larson's gonna be able to pass him. So if you watched earlier this year, it was Larson and Byron were the two best cars. When Byron was leading, Larson kept it within 2 seconds pretty much the entire time. Now, I thought that it was a very dominant race by Byron. But when Larson got the lead, he got out to like a 5-second lead. Look at what Larson did at Texas before the caution. I mean, everyone was the same until Larson got out front, and then he could really flex his muscles. Ooh, yeah, don't play. Wow. Okay, hang on here. Okay, I got a couple. Let me finish with this Larson. Larson is better in traffic than most, but it's marginal in traffic. But when he gets out front, I think if Larson can get to the lead, he could have a 4 or 5 second lead when they go into green flag pit stops. And I think he'll need it because I plan on him making a mistake. So if he's got a 4 or 5 second lead, what I would do is I would be the last to pit. Or at least wait a lap or two. That way you at least have lap or two fresher tires. It's going to cost you a second on the front end, but in the long run, especially if these guys come at like lap 37 or 38 or even 35 when they're actually pushing it to try to short pit to get the benefit of the tires on the short run, I think you wait until lap 40 or 41 and you're going to have 5-lap fresher tires. I think that's going to be better in the long run. I know it's going to cost you. It might cost you a spot, but man, over the length of a run, 4 or 5-lap fresher tires at Vegas is going to matter. But if you have a 5-second lead, you can do that. You know, if you don't have a 5-second lead, you can't do it. You know, then you might come out in 5th. Well, then you have to pass a bunch of cars. That's going to put a lot of heat in your tires trying to make passes. So I think if Larson gets the lead, he'll get out to a 5 or 6 second lead even before they get to the lap 40 pit cycle. But anything over plus 250, Connor. Dylan over Dinger. Dylan looks better than Dinger. Yes. I'm not going to play it, but because I don't trust either one of those guys. Connor, I have plus 300 on one of your locals. Oh, yeah. I mean, if that's a pretty good stage 1 win price. I think Truex is going to be great. He just doesn't look as fast as the 5 and the 24. But he could be good. Like, this is one of those things where sometimes Truex just has a good feel in his car in practice. He didn't have a ton of fall off. But if you're going to say that, then the 8, Kyle Busch, looked better. I just think I love Truex today. I think he's going to be good. I mean, if you're going to fade Hamlin, you better do it with Larson, Byron, or Truex. I think that's all you can do anyway. Yeah, Kevin said, I see AJ checked. I could see him checking out after getting his win. We just don't know that. And I think you put these guys in a race car, they're trying to win. I say the same thing about Harvick, but it's like I guess you could kinda compare it to what Kyle Busch does. Like, when Kyle all of a sudden spins out, he spins out and doesn't hit anything, and he's done, "Oh, car's wrecked." That's the kinda quitting I could see those guys doing, but not in the race car during the race. I just don't see that happening at all. Alright, well, I'm gonna finish off this, espresso martini, and then I'm gonna get some more bets out. I'm heavy on Larson. I don't know. He's my pick to win. He's everybody's pick to win. If I'm gonna go with a sleeper, the 3 guys I think that could be shocking, like, that could actually compete with the 5 and the 24 would be Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, and Ross Chastain. Um, well, I mean, I can, yeah, he'll give something out. I think Bovada has this. I'll just tell it what it's gonna be. It's, Chastain over Keselowski -130. Um, I know some locals had it and Bovada had it. I know that. Um, Grid position of the winner under 5.5. Mm. Mm, no, Johnny, because I only think uh, that's probably just a good price, or that's probably, or probably not a good price. It's probably a pretty fair price. I would say you're getting Larson, Byron, Truex. I don't think that Bell and Busher have race winning speed. If now could they win? Of course, but I think if we're just going based off speed, if you were to give me Kyle Busch in there instead of Busher, or Reddick in there instead of Busher, I would say yes. Okay, Bet 365 has Chastain's -200 against Keselowski already. Good lord. These books are a joke. God. Oh. Well, I can't give that one out, so now I'm gonna have to go to work here and figure out what I can give out. What is it, Derek? What is the Bet 365? Um, what does Bet 365 have that Chastain Brad K matchup? Brian, are you at the track right now? Yeah. Dang it. Well, okay, so Jacob, I like where your head's at on this. Kyle Busch, um, Kyle Busch over Keselowski. I'm just not paying -160 on Kyle Busch. I don't trust him. He just, speaking of quitters, like that guy, spins out, if he spins out, he's done. Yeah, I would say books have been pretty sharp lately. I think there's just a lot more information available. The cool thing is, hopefully, with this community, the betting community, okay, you just got him at -150. I don't mind -150. I think he beats the brakes off guys. I think Chastain has a race winning car, and I think that if Larson gets to the lead, he's gonna be putting Keselowski a lap down. But I can guarantee you, because I have faded Keselowski, I can guarantee you Brad will get the lucky dog one time. Yeah, I have a little Blaney over Kez too, but smaller. I took Chastain. The way that I work my units is anywhere from 1 to 4 units on matchups. 1 unit on Blaney over Kez, and 4 units on Larson. Well, to my point is, the more we talk about this, hopefully what will happen is, the more information that's out there, hopefully books get a little sharper and they feel comfortable raising the limits, because right now, mm, right now, it's so hard to get to bet, like, a lot. I mean, I have friends that tail my plays that they today they tried to put a bet out on, Bovada, and this is someone that bets 500 an NFL game. They gave him $65 on a matchup. That's a joke. So, I mean, it's getting hard to get down for sure. So, hopefully, the more we're talking about it, the more they're willing to raise limits a little bit. So, all right. Good luck today, everybody. Go Larson. We'll see you hopefully at the window when we cash all these tickets. Brad doesn't finish on the lead lap. Peace.